Okay, if you're in the process of selling your home or you're at least thinking about it, I've got some good news for you. I uncovered some things that I think are quite interesting when I was looking at the real estate market on Anna Maria Island. Let me share that with you. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about right here on Anna Maria Island. So I've got 34216 and 34217 zip codes. 34216 is the north end. That's the city of Anna Maria. 34217 is Holmes Beach and Bradenton Beach. So as we look at the inventory, the month of August ended with 267 active listings. That's up 20.8% over this time last year. So an increase in inventory year over year. When we look at the new listings that came on the market, there were 42, which is a 40% increase over last year. And then when we look at what sold, this is kind of interesting that there were 26, which is exactly the same as what we had last year. So more inventory hit the market, but still the same number of sales. But here's the exciting part for those of you that are thinking about selling or in the process. There were 24 listings that went under contract, which is a 41.2% increase year over year. So that's more buyers coming into the market. They're looking around, they're active, they're writing offers. They're just being a little bit more selective, taking a little bit more time, which is certainly understandable. They've got more inventory to choose from. So I saw that when I was looking at Anna Maria Island. I thought, okay, well, what's going on with Longboat Key? So I flipped over to 34228, which is Longboat Key. And right here, you can see we ended the month with 259 active listings, which is an increase of 43.1%. So that's quite a bit up. 45 new listings hit the market, a 55.2% increase, and 23 sold compared to 25. So we're down 2 listings that sold, which is a decrease of 8%, kind of negligible. And then those that went under contract was 26 versus 19, a 36.8% increase. So that's a pretty good increase as well as far as new listings going, as far as listings going under contract. Then I thought, well, let's move inland. Let's see what's going on in Bradenton itself. And so I looked at Northwest Bradenton, which is a 34209 zip code, which is right here. And then we look at this inventory ended with 322 active listings versus 258, a 24.8% increase. So that's a little bit more in alignment with what we saw on Anna Maria. New listings hit the market of 70 versus 67, an increase of 4.5% increase. Sold listings were 59 compared to 58 last year, essentially the same. But the ones that went under contract were 68 listings went under contract compared to 40 last year, a 70% increase. Like I said, there's people in the market and they're looking to buy, they're writing offers. If you're a seller, get ready. If you're thinking about selling, get ready. So let's flip over. Let's look at West Bradenton, the 34210 zip code, which is going to be from Cortez out to kind of like Mount Vernon, and it's also on the south side of Cortez, right? So it kind of gives you a geographic idea of where I'm talking. Similar things here, 267 active listings, which is up 34.8% over last year. 41 new listings, it's actually down 6.8% compared to last year. Sold listings, 37 versus 40. Again, it is down 7.5%. And then the ones that went under contract are back up 30.8% increase over last year. So I guess my point of all this is that there's people that are looking to buy, they're in the market, they're looking, they're making offers, they're just being a little bit slower, taking their time, being a little bit more selective. There's so much inventory that they have to choose from. There's not the rush. So there's buyers out there, they're looking. Those of you that are thinking of selling or actively listed your property, I think right now the important thing to keep in mind is that being priced right from the get-go is going to help you the best. When you price outside of the market, you're not going to get the looks, you're not going to get the offers, and it's going to take longer to sell your property. You're going to have more price adjustments than somebody that goes on the market priced aggressively and priced with the market. The other thing that you have to do, in my opinion, is that the property, no matter the condition of it, it has to be in the best shape that it can be, right? It may not be the most pretty location, but it's got to look as good as it can possibly look. You got to be standing tall and aggressive in the market. The other thing that you have to do, and this comes down to your agent, Hopefully it's Jennifer and I, but if you're using somebody else, they've got to market aggressively. They've got to put the information out there so that way you get more eyeballs on your property. It comes down to looking good, professional photos, and marketing the heck out of your property. So if there's anything that Jennifer and I can do to help you list your property, let us know. And those of you that are thinking of selling, we need to dive into exactly where you're looking to buy, whether it's here in Northwest Bradenton, Anna Maria, Longboat Key, or wherever. We'll dive deeper into the market so that way you get specific information that you need to make a decision and to make an offer. All of this comes down to data and knowing the information and knowing how to make a good offer based upon the facts and not just on what you feel or what you hope or what you want. It's coming down to the facts. So if we can help you, let us know. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.